Okay, I'm Dr. Amanda Dinsmore, and we're here today to talk about breathwork. What's the deal? Well, there's lots of data to suggest there's lots of reasons why we would want to learn about breathwork. We think that we can affect mood disorders, change energy levels, help with concentration, and even immunity. But today, what I'm going to talk about specifically is stress reduction. So let's talk about stress reduction. There's an Ayurvedic teaching that says the mind and breath mirror each other. And what's interesting about breathing is it's one thing that your body does both involuntarily and voluntarily. And so our idea with breath work is to use something voluntarily to affect involuntary things in the body, specifically the autonomic nervous system. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but for those who don't know, the autonomic nervous system consists of both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. The sympathetic is what goes into overdrive when you're in fight or flight mode, revs everything up, but the parasympathetic is what is the relaxation response. And so in modern life, the feeling is that we haven't evolved well to cope with modern society and the chronic daily stresses that happen to all of us. And we feel like that's the part of stress that leads to disease and misery and everything else. So our idea with breathwork is to harness the breath to increase the vagal tone, which increases the parasympathetic reflex, which is the relaxation reflex. So we can voluntarily increase our parasympathetic tone. Now, there are lots of different varieties of breath work, but we're going to start with an easy one for today. It's the 4-7-8 breaths. We're going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. Okay, so before we try this, ideally you would be able to be seated somewhere comfortably with your back straight, maybe close your eyes, maybe not distracted. Again, this is ideally, but what you want to do is breathe from your belly. And so one way to know is to put your hand on your belly button. If when you inhale, your belly button goes out with your abdominal wall, and you exhale and it goes back in with your abdominal wall, that's a good sign that you're using your diaphragm instead of breathing up in your chest. Another thing is the ideal placement of your tongue is up on your hard palate, right behind your upper teeth. And then the last thing before we practice here is we're going to want to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. So get ready, and here, let's practice.
We're going to take a couple deep breaths together. We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Ready? And inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, can you tell any difference with how you feel? It's pretty normal to not be great at this at the beginning. And so one goal would be to consider doing this twice a day, just every day, just practice twice a day, in the morning and then especially at night as you are relaxing to go to sleep. Do 4 breaths in each cycle. And then you'll start to notice that you're able to use this technique to just with practice, you'll get better control of it and be able to use it in more and more situations. It's free, and honestly, there's very little downside. So let us know how this works for you as you practice the next several days and if you notice any difference. And for those of you who are already breathwork ninjas, leave us some tips and tricks that can help us all get better with this work. This is The Whole Physician, and thanks for listening.